Good evening, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 6:47. Bit later than I had planned, but I went to town today. I wanted to do a bit of shopping. Had to buy a shirt and tie and a few things. You know yourself. The suit is all right, but the shoes. So a few things had to be bought for going away. And to the terrible evening, it wasn't easy to get from shop to shop, I must say. Brutal weather altogether, desperate cold, wet, windy, floods everywhere. Stay indoors is the only advice I can give to people. We started off well again today. Arctic Ambition got the job done very cosily and handily indeed. After his run the last day over 3 miles back to 2.6, jumped well, and then without conviction in Kelso, traded with odds on in running. Looked to be travelling well. Something happened. I don't know what happened because he got pulled up, because that should not have happened to him. I know he drifted in the market earlier, so maybe they had found a problem with him. I have no idea. And then I picked the other horse because he was a front runner back over 2 miles with a front running jockey on him, Danny Mullins. And the front runners, the pace was holding up all day in the previous races. What did he do? He went back 5th or 6th and 7th. And they were never going to come from behind at that. And I thought he made at least on for 5th, and he finished 7th, I think. So I don't know, what can you do? So anyway, on to tomorrow. Tomorrow is a funny sort of a day as well, because I have horses picked that's ground dependent, and I've picked it on account of the horses being good ground horses and go well fresh. The first one there I've picked, I know his favourite now is Balco Coastal. Last time we picked that horse was in Aintree, so it was 8th of April, an early bus horse. Actually, mentioning of bus horses, one of the first winners I had when I started off was 2 pints each way at 8-1 on a horse called Coral Blue, and he ran today. And I look back, and there was, I think it was the second day I done videos. There was 283 views and 7 comments, and I think it was 15 likes. So the bus has grown a lot since. But I didn't back him today, but I was watching him. I was reminiscing of the early days. But I got Balco Coastal is he likes good ground. Can see there on the 5th of December last year in a novice hurl. I know he was 8-11 favourite, but the ground was good. The last time he ran was in the Imperial Cup. Good to soft. Ran pretty decent, I thought, all right. So handicap chase tomorrow. Novice handicap chase. He was second in a point to Brave Man's Game. So the reason he was bought was for chasing, so his opportunity tomorrow. So there's a couple of short ones here, so might could put them in a Trixie or in a small Trixie, small treble perhaps. The next one is the 240 at Ffos Las. That Franco D as well. Now this is a heavy ground horse, and that's the reason I picked this one. I these picked last night without knowing the prices of them. And I was going on this because it sluiced up on heavy ground the 4th of February in Ffos Las in a novice hurl. Looked to be coming under the cosh, and they were catching him 2 out, but the farther they went, the farther he won. He came back with a nice run the last day in Fontwell. I was only beating a nose. He went up £3 for that, but he's only £3 higher than his previous, when he was 120 and that. So Venetia Williams is back in form again. She's had a few winners. There's a couple of there as well, that you don't know what they're going to be like, but that's one I picked. And the other one is the 230 at Newbury Beakstown as well. Now this was a very good 4th in the old Roan chase. We know all about that because we had Hitman back that day. But that has thrown up a couple of winners since. Hitman has come back and won, and Galaw has won. I think that the ground is the key to this horse as well. Good ground. Now it won't be simple because there's a few nice little horses in it, but it's carrying a nice weight there, 10 stone 11. The skeletons are going all right. The only thing is, and I looked, a 9-year-old hasn't won it, so the rest of them are all 8. So he might be just saying to himself, I'll show ye today, lads. And then at the 305, we have a bus horse, Proshema. The key to this horse, as I said the last time when we tipped it up and backed it, is good ground. And I'm going on because this is at the ratings. It should be in a handicap. It should be getting 6 and 7 pounds from the two above him, but he's only rated 154. But he won well enough the last day, and as I said, the ground is the key. Paisley Park won this 2019, and Champ is 10 coming on 11. I know it won first time out last year, but you don't know what to expect. But we're fit enough, and we have to include this horse because he won for us at 9-2 the last day. And Thomas Hickey would be offended with me, I think, if I didn't pick one in Fundalk. And the one I picked tomorrow night, this is a 2-mile race. It's a pretty decent race. It's Gibraltar. It's for Willie Mullins. Willie doesn't have too many runners in Dundalk, but he doesn't have too many winners either. He hasn't, I think it's 2010, he's only had 3 winners. He won one in 2010, and I think it was 11 and 13. But he doesn't have that many runners in the last few years. But the last time this was seen was 7th in the Salvage to run for Oscar. Safi Osborne was on it. This is ground dependent, obviously, as well. Even it won a hurdle race there last June in Roscommon, good ground. But obviously, with the ground the way it is now, it must be fit enough to run. But there must be just run it on the flat. There's 13,100 to the winner of this. So I'd imagine it could be the owner, because it's the same owner all along, even though he has transferred yards there in 2020 from Michael Bell to Willie Mullins. But it's the same owner, so it could be him that may be going through the book. It's only a 5-year-old, and it's 100 to 30. So I thought that would be worth a pint to win. There's money for there with the green bookie. There's money for it there now with the other, because a few minutes ago I backed it at 100 to 30 with 365. But 1,000 Tears is in it. That was the one they sent over for England, and it fell unseated there in a horse or race recently. But Gibraltar I thought would be a fairly decent bet tomorrow as well. So I'll write them up in the description in a bit. I'll be back tomorrow night. In the meantime, bash the bookies or run out.